Hey, welcome back. Marianne DeNovellis here on the Six Figure Mastermind. You've known us long enough to know that we are all about customer relationships. We're going to dive deep on the importance of customer relationships in your six-figure business, so stay tuned. Customer relationships are absolutely vital in building your six-figure business. If you don't have a good relationship with your customers, you don't have a good business, and you might not have a business at all. So let's talk about the importance of customer relationships, right? Businesses rise and fall depending on their relationships with their customers. Because guess what? Word of mouth is going to get out no matter what. And if your customers aren't happy with their experience, that's what they're going to share. And people will trust their friends more than they trust a marketing ad from you. So if you don't have a good relationship with your customers, you may as well not have a marketing ad. You're just going to tank. On the converse side, if you have a great relationship with your customers, you have open lines of communication, you're letting them know in advance of changes and policies and updates and sales, that's going to boost confidence in your business and enforce those relationships with your customers. So what happens when you don't have a relationship of trust with your customers? And this is something that I want you to be very, very aware of, especially if you're a service-based provider instead of a product-based provider. BROT, build a relationship of trust. And that happens right from the get-go before the customer even has a first transaction with you. In fact, if you don't have a relationship of trust with a customer before they have a transaction with you, they probably won't even ever have a transaction with you. So when you don't have a relationship of trust with your customers, it's going to erode the quality and the integrity of your business. You'll be constantly trying to play catch up, constantly trying to, allay fears and answer questions, and you'll find yourself buried in a business that frankly should have been a passion for you in the first place. It's one of the easiest ways to kill your passion is to erode that relationship of trust. It loses your motivation in your business, and it loses your customers' ability to have cool transactions with you, okay? Keep that relationship of trust from the get-go. I'm talking from the start here, from the very, very beginning, and build upon it as your time together with your customers advances. Let's talk about businesses that have great relationships with their customers versus businesses that maybe don't have a great relationship with their customers. The first business that comes to mind for me is Apple. Now, I'm an Apple girl. All you PC users, lots of love to you, but Apple's kind of the way to go, I'm just going to say, okay? And one of the reasons is they have stunning, cutting edge relationship with their customers. I'll tell you about an instance I had a couple weeks ago. I had my printer that I just replaced the drum in. I have one of those laser printers because I print off a lot of stuff at home. So I replaced the drum in it, and suddenly when I did that, the Wi-Fi that connects my printer to my computer, it just wasn't working anymore. They weren't communicating, and I couldn't find my printer anywhere on my computer. And I'm not terribly old school. I do have an AirPrint printer, so I didn't have a cord that would make them communicate and talk to each other. And I was like, I've got to go somewhere. I've got to print this thing off. And if I don't print it off, I won't have it. And if I don't have it, why go? And I don't want to be late. And all of this is you can imagine. It's pretty hectic. I'm sure you've run into this in your own business, some of those moments, right? So what do? I look up all the information for my printer. I'm finding nothing. This brand has a very antiquated website that, has the drivers and the software, but there's no customer service. So after I checked on the printer's end, I'm going to say, okay, I know my Apple peeps got my back, so I'm going to call them. So I go to Apple. I make an appointment because I'm using my Mac, and they say, our customer service representative is chatting with you right now. I'm chatting to a real person, not a bot. You can bet I asked that. I said, is this a real person or is this a machine? They say, it's a real person. My name is Kevin. I'm right here from Apple. And they're helping me walk through the whole thing. Now, Kevin from Apple, he says, you know what, Marianne, I'm walking through this thing with you. It looks like you've got a lot of the problem solving already done, and you're still running up against some problems. Let me see if I can share your screen on my end so I can actually see what's going on. This was so cool. It helped me feel like a valued customer because someone was willing to take their time and follow me along on my screen. So, I allowed the screen share to happen, and we're going through the steps, and we're opening up the files, and we're checking the Wi-Fi, and we're seeing where the disconnect is happening, and we're not finding anything. Now, a poor customer relationship would said, well, I guess it's just your printer's fault. You're going to have to check with them. Now, they didn't say that, and I'm so glad because I already checked with my printer, and that's why I called you guys, right? Here's what they did instead. They said, you know what, Marianne, I can actually connect to the camera on your phone and in addition to the screen share on your computer. Would you be willing to do that? So what I did with them, and this is cool tech too, by the way. So I said, okay, sure. What do I need to do? They said, well, what's your phone number? We'll just send a notification to your phone. And I opened it up, and right there on my phone says, Kevin from Apple Support would like to view your camera. And I said, okay, that's cool. So I open it up, and Kevin can now see like what my camera can see on my phone as well as what my computer is seeing. So why is that helpful? Well, he wanted to check out my printer and see what model it was. He wanted to see how current it was. He wanted to see, the inside, see if there were any jams. And the guy doesn't run printers, but he knows his stuff, right? So he's walking me through right on the camera on my phone in addition to the screen share on my computer, and we're totally attacking this problem from every angle that I can conceive. He went above and beyond by sharing that tech with me and walking me through. Eventually we got the printer hooked up again, got it working, everything was fine. It took 5 or 6 tries to do it, but Kevin walked it through with me every single step of the way. That was superb customer service. First of all, because they were easy to get a hold of, meaning I could just go online and instantly chat with a real human being. Second of all, this person knew their stuff enough to be able to share the tech that enabled them to see my computer screen and my camera. So they knew their stuff. Third of all, they didn't leave until the problem was solved. They didn't abandon me and leave me on my own devices, right? So those were 3 things: easy to contact, knew their stuff, and stayed with me until the end. Great customer relationship there. Much better than the relationship I had with the company who made my printer, who didn't have a chat option online, who only had an antiquated website with a very old Q&A section that wasn't open for them, that I didn't find answers on. I was able to actually find answers through another vendor. Great customer service versus meh customer service. That shows up in your customer's relationship. Watch our videos on how to grow this relationships. We've produced quite a few of them right here on the 6-Figure Mastermind. So go check them out and see what you think, and see if you can find some ways for you to build really amazing, unique, and very strong customer relationships in your 6-figure business. You know this, customer relationships mean everything. So comment below, share with the mastermind what you're doing to enhance your customer relationships. Remember to hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment, and ring the bell, and I'll get an email to you when our next video comes out tomorrow. I'll see you then.